out there. The history we know is a story of heroes and villains, of grand battles and strategic victories. But beneath this official narrative lies a darker truth, a chapter of history intentionally left in the shadows, locked away in dusty, classified archives. These aren't tales of battlefield valor. They are the whispers of experiments, so audacious, so morally ambiguous, they were never meant for public knowledge. World War II wasn't just a war of soldiers, it was a war of scientists, and the human body itself became their final, horrifying frontier. Vol. Seen the black and white footage of soldiers marching and tanks rolling across Europe. But what about the other films? The ones stamped with top secret and hidden from view for decades. In these forgotten reels, we don't see armies clashing. Instead, we see laboratories. We see men in white coats observing other men, not as comrades, but as variables in a terrible equation. These were real military tests, sanctioned at the highest levels, pushing the very limits of science and human endurance in a desperate race for an edge. Imagine being a young soldier, told you were serving your country, only to find yourself in a sealed chamber as the air slowly thins out, simulating a high-altitude base. Lungs burn, your vision blurs. Your agony is not for victory on the front lines, but for a data point on a clipboard. Think of sailors, submerged in freezing ocean water. Their body temperatures monitored until their heart stops, all to determine the limits of survival for downed pilots. They were promised glory, but were instead delivered to a sterile scientific hell, their humanity stripped away layer by layer. These weren't faceless subjects, they were sons, brothers, and fathers. They were men who had signed up to fight an enemy, only to discover the most immediate threat was the clipboard and stopwatch of their own side. In one classified program, subjects were given psychoactive substances, their minds meticulously broken down and studied, all in the hope of creating a truth serum or a new form of psychological warfare. The footage is haunting. You see the confusion in their eyes, the terror as they lose their grip on reality. Their pleas for help ignored in the name of progress. The architects of these programs believed any price was worth paying for victory. But who was paying it? The guilt of these actions hangs heavy over the official records. The documents are filled with clinical, detached language, a deliberate attempt to sanitize the horror of what was being done. A human being becomes a test subject. Agonizing pain becomes physiological response. But no amount of bureaucratic jargon can erase the truth. These experiments didn't just test the limits of the human body. They tested the limits of our own morality and found it tragically wanting. As the war ended and the world celebrated, these files were quietly buried. The stories of their victims deemed too inconvenient, too shameful to be part of the triumphant narrative. History tried to forget this, but the ghosts of these labs remain, a chilling reminder that in the pursuit of power, humanity can often be the first casualty. Thank you for watching. If you believe these stories need to be told, please like this video and subscribe for more hidden history.